I am SidBenrauouane. I live in Minnesota, Minneapolis, and I am part of a network that we call TechWadi, which is the Arab American network of professionals in the IT industry. This is a very powerful organization that exists in Silicon Valley, and what it does, it tries to help and connect young entrepreneurs in the community with professionals who are providing mentorship, investment opportunities, and training. Algeria is one of the largest countries in the Maghreb region, but also it's one of the most industrialized nation in the Maghreb region. It's a very large country. It's a big population, about 36 million, and it shares a lot of borders, political borders, with a variety of countries from the Maghreb region, but also from Africa. The particularity about Algeria is that it has an extremely high level of human capital, human resources, highly educated people, very good business schools, very good successful business schools. It has also a lot of resources, primarily oil and gas, and it has also a lot of financial resources, primarily due to the oil prices going up. So these are very good assets. Not any other country can find them easily. But with these assets actually come also liabilities, come also responsibilities, come also challenges. And the main challenge of Algeria now is how you're going to provide the job and the job creation for these young people. I think about 2/3 of the population in the Arab world, and I would say about more than 60% of the Algerian population, I think, is under 30. That's a huge challenge for the society. That's a huge challenge for the government. How are you going to provide jobs for these people? How are you going to provide education and transportation and other things and other means? And when you have that many people in a country, of course, they become almost like a driving force for a change. I think the main challenge is to get people to really believe in their own capabilities, to get them to think that they can do things, to get them to think that they can actually succeed. Young people in the Maghreb region have been told that they are not as great as their potential. And if someone has been telling you this for about 30 years or 20 years, 25, you are going to end up to believe in it. And our challenge is actually to try to change that mindset and to try to change that discourse between, again, the society itself and these young entrepreneurs. It's difficult for someone to take risk if they have never done it in the past, and if they have been provided all the time with opportunities and with means. So teaching someone to take risk is actually very difficult from a theoretical point of view, because you cannot teach someone to take risk unless actually they take the risk and then they fail. Right. So allowing them to fail, allowing them actually to do things and then to get the feedback, allowing them actually to simply say, well, I am not the perfect man, I am not the perfect woman, things happen in life, and that could be one of it. That's a beginning for a culture that is extremely structured, highly formalized, and sometimes what it does, it creates those layers of protections between society and the individual, and that would create in itself actually an insulation from risk and from failure. I think it's mostly the social discourse that kids have when they grow up through the years and through the different development stages. Social norms in Arab societies, in North African and Middle Eastern societies, are built around where the parents play the main role for the kids. So they are the provider, they are the emotional regulators, they are the emotional supporters, they give the money, the kids stay home all the time with their parents. So that is actually what is creating. So It's mostly, again, those cultural layers that parents sometimes tend to build between the kid and the society itself. It's like parents are orbiting their kids all the time, all the time, all the time, and it's very difficult sometimes to get rid of that orbit, if you will, if you can't really, really force yourself to do it. Yes, I do, and especially in this region, because the government in the Maghreb region is very, very present, has a main role, has a very important role. And the government can help, of course, by providing this type of framework, the framework that we use to come to this country, but also other frameworks such as providing the financing, because again, this is a country or this is a region that doesn't have a highly mature financial industry that can provide money or investment for young kids. The government can provide that, but also the government has to do another thing, which is basically to not to let people rely too much on on the government itself, because that could be in itself an obstacle for entrepreneurship. I think young entrepreneurs, again, they have to be open-minded. They have to learn how to succeed, but most importantly, they have to learn how to fail. There's also this issue of failure and how good you can handle failure. And sometimes not everybody can do that, and especially young kids in certain cultures where they are supposed to play a role model or supposed to be perfectionist from day one. For someone who is perfectionist or have been put in a situation where he or she has to play the role model for the family, for that person, failure could be devastating thing for them. So learning how to deal with the failure and learning how to look at yourself continuously, to question your thoughts, that's probably one of the most powerful things. And this is, again, cultural element that doesn't exist here